Okay, let's get things going. Studio 47. I'm going to start telling a couple stories about some of the people that I associated with, worked with. That was the thing. You have to work in life and all, and the connections that you have and all. And we're products of our environment and what goes on and all the drinking and everything. At that time and everything was almost like a necessity to function in this world, to have a job and to be doing things and all. If you didn't, you weren't trusted. You might be asked, you go to the job, you might be asked, you go to the trailer, do you drink? No. They won't even trust you, I guess. I don't know, but let's a couple of characters in life. It'd be Eddie, be one of them, and Richie. Yeah, probably the two. Richie, the business agent, put us together. It was a marriage made in heaven. And all, good guy and everything, good guy, and I'll tell him. But today, I think the story will be about the Nova Scotia trip with Eddie. And Eddie was a guy that lived his life with the pedal to the metal. As for instance, if you were going fishing with him, you'd arrive at his house at 3 o'clock in the morning to go, and he's not home. Pull in, he's not there. And his car pulls in, the driver. He's just coming home. I'm going to change. I'll be out in a minute. And Eddie run a lot of jobs and all, and he seen to it that Richie and I got out there with him and everything. We played baseball together a little bit and everything. And so anyway, Eddie was going to go to Nova Scotia, and he said, would I want to go? And I was a hunter. I'd like to go. And the vehicle, well, I had an old truck. We'll go with the old truck. Well, that was okay. And then Eddie built a rack, a box for the top to bring all these deer we expected to kill or something, I guess. I don't know. So he made the box. Now Eddie made the box. And what I discovered just before we were ready to leave is that the oil was going in the radiator. The block was cracked. So I said, Ed, I don't know about going with that truck. Oh, we'll be all right. He made the box, you see, so we'll be all right. So we're going with an old guy who had been there before. He was the key, an older man, Benny. And so we packed up, we're on our way. And by the time we got to Boston, the truck was acting up bad. Everything was... By the way, I took 2 5-gallon cans of oil. What is 5 gallons? That's 10 gallons of oil. It's on a roof in that box, that Eddie. And we had all kind of stuff in that box and everything. And in the truck, it was a bigger truck, like I don't know what you call, a lot of room in the back and everything for traveling. You know, so we get to Boston and we're like broke down. We stop in a gas station, and the guys in the gas station, they're concerned how far we have to go. Have to go? We're going to Nova Scotia and back. The guy, Nova Scotia, as if to say you'll never make it. And Benny, he was a mess. He was a mess by that time. already, and Boston. He was thing. So we drove the first day clear to Maine, and we slept for the night. So in the morning we're on our way again, and I'm driving and everything, and we're in our second day, and we didn't go across on a ferry from Maine, of course. We went up that route to Canada and all to get there. So we're riding, and I guess by afternoon, Eddie wanted to drive. And I thought, well, maybe that's a good idea. Go ahead, drive. But I warned him. I said, Ed, you can't trust the gas gauge. It can't be trusted. So watch out, you know. So I guess I went to sleep in the back. Eddie's driving. And I woke up. We're stopped. What's the matter? No gas. Middle of nowhere, no gas. I said, oh, I told you to watch it, you know. There was no stations. No gas, we're out of gas. Benny, he needs a tranquilizer shot. He's in bad shape and everything. Eddie says, we'll be okay. Eddie was a bright guy and everything. He come up with this here, Coleman fuel. Coleman fuel. We had 2 cans of Coleman fuel for the lanterns. And will that work? Yeah, it'll work. It'll probably work. We poured a Coleman fuel in the gas tank. We poured a Coleman fuel. Start her up. Now I'm driving. Start her up. Starts. It's running. Benny, he's amazed and everything. I'm amazed. But then bang, it backfires. Bang again. We're backfiring all over the place. Every time it backfired, Benny would go to pieces. And all. But we struggled and we went and we made it. We made it to a gas tank. Beautiful. We got the gas and everything. So we got around that problem. But now, I hollered at him. Eddie was my boss, you know, but I must have hollered at him or something, you know, and all that. About the thing, now I'm driving, he's in the back and he's sulking. We'll call it sulking. And he gets in the back and Eddie drank. And now he's drinking beer all afternoon, all for hours and hours and hours. He's knee deep in beer bottles back there. Benny, the truck is acting up. The truck is acting up. All this oil is going. We got to keep putting oil and everything. Keep feeding it oil. Won't run without the engine. Don't run without oil. The oil's going in the radiator, and the radiator it's mud. The radiator is full of mud, and Benny keeps saying she'll never climb Old Smoky. She'll never climb Old Smoky. What? Old Smoky? What's he talking about? And when I get there, he says, I'm taking the first flight home. When he gets there, he's gonna fly home. He's a mess. So that's where we're at now. We get on a ferry. We rode the ferry across the other side. Now we're on our way. Now Benny said she'll never climb Old Smoky. Old Smoky was some kind of mountain or something, I guess. I don't know. So now I start having a couple of, and I'm having a couple. And then the truck is acting up, overheated, and we get out. It's all full of mud. You can't put no more in it. So we got to take the hose off the radiator. And I keep hearing, what is that noise? And he says, it's ocean, and you guys think it's funny. We're gonna freeze to death, or what? I don't know what and everything. And but we took the hose off and we flushed it a little bit. We had water up there. When we stopped, it was like a pit stop at Indianapolis, and we left all kind of, when we stopped for gas and everything, all kind of drippings and everything on the ground, on its concrete. So we took the hose off. We put the hose back. We filled it with water, and we said, we're good to go. We're good. We're okay now. We cleaned the radiator. The mud is basically out of there. And we keep putting, 10 gallons wasn't enough. We needed more. We had to start buying oil. And with the whole trip, at what point, I don't know. So we're struggling with that thing, and now we think we're okay, and it's at night, and it's cold, and everything. But I left the radiator the drain. I left the drain open, then water went out, and now we're overheating again. And Benny's, oh God, it's smoke, overheating. We got to stop again. But then I seen that knob was open and all. I shut that. We filled it with water. We're good to go. And we climbed Old Smoky, and we made it. We got there. And then the locals, we hunted we're in the mountains and everything. I crippled a big deer. That was the only one that, and I climbed them. And from the ocean, I climbed a mountain with the guide. We were in a rowboat in the Atlantic Ocean, in the ocean. And we had a motor, but I mean only it's like a rowboat. And we climbed this mountain, and then he's looking, and he's smoking a cigarette. Terrible climb, high, and everything. Terrible climb. And that was just me and the guide. I don't know where Eddie and Benny were with that. And he's troubled. What's the matter? He says, the whitecaps on the ocean. Well, if you feel like that, we better get out of here. And he ran down that mountain. It took me time to get down safely and everything. And we got out of there. The first few waves were bad, but we made it and all. So that's the only deer. We didn't get any deer. I crippled that one, and we didn't get it. And now I took the truck, let these mechanics look at it, and a brilliant thing, he put a little hose on that radiator at the top, that little tip that sticks out. He put a little hose on that to let the drippings go on the ground instead of all over everything. And now the closer we got to home, the prouder Benny got of the truck. Now when we stopped for a pit stop, he would call people over. Take a look at that. We come from Nova Scotia with this baby and everything. And we made it. I junked the truck. That was the end of the truck and everything. We made the thing. But then I seen Benny one time in a bar. 5 years later, 10 years later, I don't know what it was. And he's on the other side of the bar. So I walked around behind him. Benny, he turned around and looked at me, and I won't even say the words that he said, but he wouldn't even talk to me. From that experience with Eddie and I. But Eddie and I were buddies. He ran the jobs. He got Richie and I to the jobs. And someday I'll tell you the punchline of the end, the culmination of what happened. And ended here.